Most people are familiar with the whole glass half full or glass half empty analogy. I've come to the realization that I'm a very pessimistic person by nature. I tend to focus on the negative, the glass being half empty. It wasn't always like that though. I've been through so much pain and have so many fears that I obsess over the worst case scenario. So half empty or half full, typically people will identify with one of these, at least a good chunk of the time. Researchers like UC Davis's Alison Ledgerwood point out that through training and awareness, you can change the way you see the glass. Alison's team did this really cool experiment where they brought two groups of people into the lab and told them about a new surgical procedure. The first group was told the procedure had a 70% success rate. The second group was told that the surgery had a 30% failure rate. It's literally the same surgical procedure with the exact same information, but one of the doctors was focusing on the positive and the other was focusing on the negative. Of course, people liked the procedure more when it was framed in a positive way. They didn't like it so much when the doctor focused on the failure rate. Then they did something really interesting. They emphasized to the first group that they could also see it as failing 30% of the time. All of a sudden, people didn't like the procedure anymore. They did something similar with the second group by reframing the surgery with a 70% success rate. People still didn't change their mind. This was done in many other studies and the results were the same. People naturally dwell on the negative, the glass half empty, especially if someone points it out to them. Somehow they get stuck on it. Alison went on to explain that from an evolutionary standpoint, it makes sense. Our fight or flight mind grabs onto negative information to assess and address any perceived threats. Well, what if you also have an ancient genetic illness that causes divergent brain connections, making you see the glass differently almost every time you look at it? How confusing would that be? To not be able to trust your own perception. It's almost like I'm emotionally allergic to the chemicals my brain is producing. It's like the feeling I get when I see a spider just without the damn spider. Sometimes I experience very real, strong emotions that may have no basis in reality at all. It could be fear, anger, paranoia, even love. There's times when I'm hypomanic, and even if there was only a drop of water in the glass, I'd still see it as 1/1000th full. There's other times when the glass is completely full and my depression finds faults with it. It's the wrong cup, the water's dirty, or wrong temperature. I can't even explain how real these feelings are. Science tries. They've discovered it's a neurological, biochemical, primordial, genetic, horrible, icky, no good brain illness. Okay, I made up the last couple, but it's basically proven to suck. Finding clarity in the midst of a bipolar episode can feel impossible at times. Sometimes it really is impossible. That's why it's recognized as a serious illness. Without a solid and sometimes aggressive treatment plan, it's easy to drown in a sea of biochemicals. Easy analogy. It's reasonable to wear a life jacket if you're swimming in the ocean, but you have to plan that. You have to consciously bring the life jacket with you and put it on. Just like drowning, there's a chance of death with bipolar disorder, a 20% chance, 1 in 5. That's worth having some kind of plan, an emotional life jacket for shit creek should you find yourself there. Let's go with the glass half full on this one, and remember, we have an 80% chance to survive, even thrive. When I'm emotionally hallucinating and can't even find my glass, I have to rely on several things that ground me so I know the difference between real and not real. I can't just look on the bright side and see the glass half full. God, I wish it were that easy. These things have to be absolute constants, things that will never change. Let me give you an example. I love music. I know I do. That's a constant. Next is my job, making Polar Warrior videos. I absolutely love what I do. Another constant is having a conflict-free relationship with my partner. If these things change, like if music sounds extra good or extra shitty, if my job or relationship feels extra good or extra shitty, I try to gauge how far I am off from my baseline. This helps me decipher what's real and what isn't a lot sooner. The more constants I can come up with, the better. When I have one of those aha moments and realize I'm being mindful in the middle of an episode, that's an opportunity to change the way I see the glass. If my thoughts are negative, I have to make a giant purposeful effort to replace them with their positive polar opposites. For example, 1 in 5 people don't survive bipolar. That's very troubling. I'll replace that with 80% survive and even thrive. Since I know I have a primordial tendency to focus on the negative, I have to go way out of my way to change that internal narrative. It's almost like for every time my mind says 20% don't make it, I have to say 80% do make it a bunch more times. Repetition works. How do you think you know the words to that song that gets stuck in your head? Which one was it? Something like, and I apologize in advance, baby shark, doo doo doo. Okay, I'm not gonna go there. How long would it take for you to change the words to baby shark to baby shrimp instead, where your mind automatically goes to shrimp instead of shark? I'm guessing it would take a while. Wouldn't it be worth it though if the effort improved your entire quality of life? You're all awesome. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. May your glass be half full, warriors. Do, 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 do. Stay well. See you guys soon.